I run, I run, I run. I stop a moment. See that? How words exist to trouble times. There was a moment, and I seized it. It ceased to be what it had been. Oh well. Lately, time has troubled me. The days lose meaning, yet every day carves an outline in the concrete. Let me stay alive a while longer. Let me long to live again. Yesterday the sky poured out. I poured my heart into a bowl. I bowled my anger into skill. I said what must be said. Must be a breeze about. I used to feel so breezy. Easy now to say the least, to let the fury speak. What makes me furious most of all is all the love we went to waste. For what? For spite? For fear or gain? We're more than what we've been. I've been sitting with myself again. Myselves all now with names. Mother, screamer, sister, water, wild, fire, grace. She is everything I've seen and touched or troubled for a while. Am I a word or something more? Am I the sounds that say my name? Or moments twisted into body and poured into the earth? Every day I come to life. Every day I come to life.
All right, thanks everyone for watching and checking out our conversation now with the artists. I'm here with Deidre Huckabay, Tselanie Townsend, and Sam Lewis, and each of them are the three lead artists for each of the three videos that we just saw across three different venues. And my name is Paul Giallorenzo, and I'm the artistic director of Homeroom.
And thanks everyone for watching. And thanks everyone for our conversation now with the artists. Checking out conversation. Tselanie Townsend and Sam Lewis. And Tselanie
Townsend. 1 second.
And having some videos that we three lead artists.
Interesting feedback happening right now.
My name is Paul Giallorenzo. My name is Paul Giallorenzo. And I'm the artistic director of Homeroom. And thanks everyone for our conversation now with the artists.
All right, there we go. Took care of that. Okay. So Homeroom put this on, as well as Make Literary Productions. Sarah Dotson and I kind of organized this. Sarah was really helpful and did a lot of work to make this happen. I just wanted to also thank the venues, Ben Billington at Elastic Arts, Sally Davis at the Hideout, Brett Swinney at Arts and Public Life. It's really glad to have a collaboration across these sort of different channels, sort of a new thing for us in these times, sort of an experimental way to connect different platforms and different folks. So we're super happy to have all these people involved. And also wanted to mention that the Hideout has been gracious to have Homeroom a couple times in the last few months, and they are instrumental in a lot of cultural presentations in Chicago as an independent venue. They're spearheading or playing a large part in the Save Our Stages movement, which is an effort to get people like us and everyone watching and everyone we know to try to reach out to legislators and get them to actually support directly and fund independent venues across Chicago, across the country, because a lot of these venues aren't going to make it over the next however many months this lasts. So we really need to try to put some pressure and get some direct funding and support for independent venues if we want to see them survive the pandemic. A couple quick words about Homeroom and Make Literary Productions. Make Literary Productions is a non-for-profit that promotes, supports, and engages contemporary writers, artists, and audiences through publishing multidisciplinary arts events and the international cultural exchange project called the Lit and Lose Festival that happens every year. And Homeroom is a Chicago-based 501c nonprofit that designs artistic projects and programs with two core values: conversation and collaboration. Our goal is to bring together different artists, platforms, organizations, curators, venues to create new work that's not limited to any single discipline, multimedia, multi-genre, while aiming to promote artistic experimentation and growth by liberating artists from the financial and artistic constraints imposed by traditional, institutional, and commercial channels. Okay, so now let's talk about what we just sort of experienced and participated in. Tselanie, so you were one of the original founders of the Exquisite Crawl, which is an event that Homeroom and Make Literary Productions has sort of collaborated on for the last few years. And normally it's kind of a bar crawl, and it goes between 3 or 4 different venues, and there's different performances that are built in the same fashion of the Exquisite Corpse, where somebody produces something and then the next piece is created following the tail end of the previous piece. And that's sort of been happening for 3 or 4 years between these organizations, and you were one of the folks that kind of started that. And what was it like for you to kind of participate this year on the other side as an artist, and particularly in this medium of basically live cinema, or not live cinema, but cinema essentially? And I know that you have a background in film and video, so what was your experience doing this?
It was nice to be on the other side and not to be on the organizing side, especially since everything went virtual. It's a whole new ballgame now. So it was nice to be removed from that aspect of it. As far as creating, it was great to work with Nandini and Kristin and get our work out there in a different way than we normally do, and collaborate in different ways.
Great. And Deidre, what was this like for you? As I know that you're a musician, a writer. You mentioned in your video that you spend a lot of time writing, working, and making music. And sort of how was this process for you in terms of like a creative process? I'm assuming that you haven't spent a lot of time making videos. I could be wrong, but what was sort of your
yeah,
your
I mean,
process?
I have I learned to make videos from audition tapes in college, where you play the flute, and so I can do a little bit of basic editing. My little contribution is strictly edited from found footage, and that is something I've done in the past a little bit. Yeah, I like Tselanie. I really loved the chance to work with some collaborators during this time of isolation and quiet and introspection. All of my ordinary collaborations are fully upside down right now. So I really appreciated the chance. And I think Homeroom and Make do this really well. They're always connecting artists in sort of arbitrary constraints. And I don't mean arbitrary to be a dig, an insult. Just sort of these like artificial relationships that instantly get work started. I really have appreciated being a part of every one of those sort of collaborations by happenstance, by accident, that Make and Homeroom have facilitated. And this was a great circumstance for that.
Great. Yeah, and just the process of streaming in general, and sort of that being a replacement or of artistic work. I think all of us are sort of feeling this confusion, and I know I personally am sort of going back and forth between sort of maybe a need or a desire to maybe step away from like the creation or the performance mentality, but at the same time there's this sort of need to kind of keep doing it and keep finding a way to create or to present, even in sort of this less than ideal setting, which I think streaming in many ways is less than ideal, but there's a lot of new things to learn. And I think I've certainly learned a lot about just my own practice and my own sort of way of approaching creation and making music, making art. Sam, like what do you? I know that you've done a lot of video in the last few months and really kind of stepped up and learned a lot of technology and software. Like what's that been like for you?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different experiences, and mine was that I'm really feeling creative right now and wanting to kind of express myself for my benefit and also to potentially help other people get through this craziness. I know opinions definitely vary, and I respect people's right or their need to kind of disconnect from some of that right now and focus on other things that are definitely equally, if not more important. But I've been feeling really good, and it was like a very beneficial coincidence that a lot of things that I've been working on and a lot of priorities and directions I've been going in really fit nicely with the state of the world right now, as far as that's related, because doing videos and stuff like that. But it can be a little impersonal at times. However, it opens up so many other levels. Like I could never do a performance like I did inside of a venue like at Links Hall or anything, that was outside in my garden, and like connecting with nature in a lot of ways. And even outdoor performances are usually on a stage and, whole big infrastructure and all that stuff. And so it really gave me a chance to kind of show and think about puppetry in a different way, which was really helpful for me. And then it also help convince my sons to take part in it from the beginning, because this is all still new to them. I mean, this is the first year they've been doing anything, and asking them to do something and kind of stretch out and get out there while still being at home was really safe and kind of a lot easier for them to kind of get into. So the money didn't have to be there for them.
Yeah, I love seeing them in the video, and then I like how that sort of tailed into Jennifer's piece with the boy, and then into Maya's piece, which seemed kind of a counterpoint to that. But seeing kids involved in these videos was really great, and also the music I really liked. Kind of all the music I heard, it was really I couldn't help but try to think like, oh, what's that from, or how did they make that, or where, what are those sounds? And I'm curious how you created the music, Sam. Your piece.
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing to say how easy it was using GarageBand and like just kind of messing with their loops. Our mutual friend Steve Gady was like, he's been beefing up his home studio, and we had talked about collaborating on some stuff. He has this project he's doing where he's like inviting a bunch of different collaborators. And I was like, yeah, man, you got to make me some tracks. He's like, dude, you can make your own tracks. He's like, look, just go here. And I was on the phone with him, and I made that in like 10 minutes, and then like kind of arranged it how I wanted to arrange it, which took like another half an hour or so. But it was so easy to do, and I felt so good and empowered out of that process. And that's just yet another one of those things where this discovery is happening in a lot of real ways because of this situation. And so just trying to roll with it and make the best out of it that I can. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, and Tselanie, the music that you had in your piece, was that you singing?
Yeah, I made that song.
Okay.
I decided to not labor it, and I wrote the song in a day, and I recorded it over the next couple of days, and then I labored a little bit over mastering it, or mixing it, but it was fun. Yeah,
that was great.
I'm not sure about Kristin, but I know that Nandini and her partner made their music too for our pieces. So.
What did you use for yours? Like what software or hardware? Just out of curiosity.
I use Ableton when I record, and just through a mic interface situation. As far as beats, I made those with a MIDI controller.
Nice.
And then I use one plugin for some extra oomph at the end. But
yeah, I like the bass drum was really kicking.
Yeah.
And in terms of your footage, Tselanie, I mean, I'm assuming that you were driving around and like holding your phone out of the camera, or how did you get your phone out of the car?
Except for the footage of me like moving through space. Everything else I found on.
Okay.
It's just those like lulling, like, I don't know, those calming videos that people put on YouTube where you're supposed to like watch them to calm down, of like cars driving and car washes and things like that.
Nice. And Deidre, I really liked how your piece didn't really have much sound to it, and there was all these sort of moments of darkness, and it kind of was a nice punctuation between sort of these, I don't know if you call them found footage or taken footage from that TV show, but it was really kind of nice to see like, oh, this is a TV show, and then like, oh, there's a moment of blackness. Oh yeah, no, this is like a commentary. This is sort of a interspersed piece that's using that, and it was kind of nice to kind of keep being reminded of that, and then like kind of forgetting it. And I also really liked the humor and sort of the commentary on it. It was pretty deep, like what you were saying, and it was, I thought, really effective.
Really, Nate Marshall's poem. We haven't.
Yep.
I would love to hear what you all think about Nate Marshall's poem. I mean, for me, it's such a, and I'm so glad I got to see all the works one after another, because I was just glad that the poem reminded us of generations, of ancestors, of the way your life is all about the lives of folks who've come before you. That is such a important message for this time. And you know, in this quarantine time, I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about that already. And so I was grateful to this prompt for reminding me of that. And it was really wonderful to see so many literal generations in Sam's chain, but also so much like life, shared life, cats and chickens and plants, you know, just the way life gives more life. That was really nice about the prompt to me. And so, yeah, so thinking about that prompt, I was trying to think about like in what I inherit. And especially as I've been sitting around my house all this time, the sound, right. I started this whole thing because of the sounds. The sound is just like EQ'd house sounds from my house, which I'm spending a lot of time in, thinking a lot about, reflecting a lot on. Being in a house, I make a bunch of stuff with this dollhouse behind me. You know, houses, I think houses are a big, special thing. And so, yeah, I just wanted to up the sounds that was from my space.
Great. Yeah, Sarah from Make Lit was the one who came up with the poem, and I think that was a really good sort of unifying theme that kind of seems to have brought everyone out into creating something that was connected with that through line through the poem. And yeah, it was, I really enjoyed everything that you all did. Yeah. Any last thoughts or questions for each other? Or
Well, now my desktop grandfather clock is going off, but yeah, it was just really cool concept, and I thought it was really easy to navigate the three spaces, and I think it was important to kind of touch on those three spaces because they're three spaces that are close to my heart in a lot of ways, and so it was a great matching in that sense. And then just seeing everyone's piece, I was, it seems like forever since we started planning this process and project, and so finally getting to see the other six pieces was like really cool for me. I was excited to see them. And I just want to thank you all for being in commune with me. And it was just a fantastic experience. And thanks to Homeroom and the Make, of course.
all right. Thanks, everyone. See ya on the flip side.
Pancake.